Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Green. You're watching Greenwave TV, alternative media television. It is, of course, Monday, November 19th, 2012. We have a shortened week this week. Thanksgiving break, Thanksgiving holiday. Many of us will be celebrating with our friends and family in the midst of a brand new war. In fact, the next leg of the violent attack on Gaza, an Israeli, U.S.-backed led war, according to Netanyahu, they're ready for a ground invasion any day now. So not only have dozens of innocent civilians, men, women, and children already been slaughtered, and we're talking about hundreds of missiles fired into Gaza to attack what Israel calls Hamas, the militant arm of Iran. And vice versa, Hamas is shooting rockets into Israel, into places like Tel Aviv, in response, saying that Israel and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu just opened up the gates of hell. But you see, this isn't just a war in Gaza. This isn't just a war fighting Hamas. This is a war against Iran. And you know, I talked about this for over 3 years now, told you that as a result of the engineered financial collapse that we experienced in 2008, that we're still living through to this day, because we are living through one of the greatest of Great Depressions that we've ever seen in American history. Nothing's gotten better. They've simply papered over it with quantitative easing and all of this stimulus and all of these programs, that it would naturally and consequently result in a new world war. And people ask me all the time, they'll even see me on the street and say, Christopher, you know, when is this war coming? I mean, this is looking so dangerous. Or they'll start seeing it and say, oh my God, Christopher, I didn't see it before. I thought that maybe you were overreacting before, but now that they're bombing Gaza, now that we have all these innocent civilians dying, and now that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is threatening a ground invasion any day now, I just can't believe I didn't see this coming, and you did. Well, you know, this isn't about being right. This isn't about saying, you know, I was right and you were wrong, because who cares about being right? What we need to care about, what I care about, is humanity. What I care about is that we have psychopaths running the United States government, that there are psychopaths running the agenda. Call them whatever you want. Call them the global oligarchs, call them the NWO, the New World Order, you can Illuminati, you can give them any kind of name that you want. These people are psychopaths, and they do not have the best interest of the American people at heart. This is about war, and the war is coming because why? Well, you follow the money. You follow the financial collapse, and it'll tell you, and you can look at this from a historical perspective, every time there's a currency crisis, every time there's a crisis, a financial crisis like the one that we've experienced and the one that we are living through today, all these nations around the globe and these sovereign defaults, bankruptcy, a national debt, $16 trillion plus here in the United States of America, an upside-down pyramid where we have millions of baby boomers expecting benefits and their pensions and their IRAs and the upside-down pyramid they expect to take care of them. It's simply not going to happen. It's an impossibility. Just like it's an impossibility that we could ever get out of debt. We can't. The country's broke, and that's what we're afraid to admit. That's what people like Ron Paul have been saying for years. We're broke. Let's just admit it. Let's stop the Ponzi scheme. But, you know, instead of stopping the Ponzi scheme, what they're going to do instead is go to war. That's exactly why Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, just days after the U.S. election, and I made a video before the U.S. election results even came out and said war will come right after the U.S. elections. And I had a picture of, you know, planes sitting on an aircraft carrier in the Middle East ready to take off. Literally days later, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu launches an attack on Gaza. And now he's launching a soon-to-be ground invasion in Gaza. This is about Iran, and this is about destabilization of the Middle East, and it's exactly why President Barack Obama, through executive order, bypassing congressional approval, went into Libya, killed Muammar Gaddafi, and then began running guns, which killed Christopher Stevens. This is Benghazi Gate, if you're not already awake to this. And this is what killed these people. It's why they've been running guns into Syria, and it's why they also have a hit in an assassination out on Bashar al-Assad to get to Iran, to control this region. Why do you think President Barack Obama and Benjamin Netanyahu put and helped to seed Mohammed Morsi into power in Egypt, a Muslim brother? a leader, a part of the Muslim Brotherhood. This is all about controlling the Middle East and getting your ducks in a row before you launch the ground invasion, which is exactly what we have today. So it's a very sad, sad day, not just here in America, but it's very, very sad what's happening in the Middle East and the fear and the horror that these people must be going through. I mean, this is a humanitarian issue. And what I want to see at the end of the day is peace. What I want to see at the end of the day is goodness, and I want to see justice, and I want to see the people implementing these types of policies and these types of programs. I want to see them go to jail. And I want to see righteous people and people with a moral compass. They're being led by goodness and a higher moral power, whether or not you believe that to be God or you just believe that to be being a good person. I want to see those types of people in a position of control and power to help guide us out of this treachery, to help guide us out of this hell on earth. Has Israel just opened up the gates of hell? Yes, they have. Has the United States just opened up the gates of hell? Absolutely. And, I'll talk to Democrats, and they'll say, Christopher, I know Obama bailed out the banks in 2008, but desperate times calls for desperate measures, like he was just thrown into it. And you remember how I told you that it would appear, it'd be propagandized to you that Obama just gets pulled into the war in the Middle East, and then we have to use our forces to back Israel to defend their honor? It's exactly what's happening now. And it's exactly what the Democrats will tell me even to this day. Haven't really talked to a lot of them since the war started, because they've been telling me that we've been wrong and that the war's not coming and that it's fear-mongering. But now that it's here, and now that Israel has launched this aggressive attack and soon-to-be ground invasion, I can almost guarantee they're going to tell me, well, Obama was just pulled into the war. And I'll say, but you realize this is actually the third war that Obama has started since being in office, whether or not it's him doing it directly or on behalf of the global oligarchs, those in charge. And they'll say, well, Christopher, desperate times call for desperate measures. He was just unfortunately pulled into the war. No. See, that's wrong. There is nothing about this that is unfortunate. This has all been engineered, and this has been the game plan from day one. It's why people like me saw it coming over 3 years ago. And it's why many Americans just didn't. But now they will. And now they'll be asked to die on the front lines. And so for all of you people that are still in support of your president, President Barack Hussein Obama, still in support of socialism and still think that the president was just, unfortunately being pulled into the war now to defend Israel's honor, it should be you that goes and dies and fights on the front lines. You defend the country then. You defend what's going on in Israel. You go fight. We won't. We'll sit back and we'll watch and we'll rally against the war. Very punk rock in nature. We'll rally against this thing. We'll try to tear this thing down. We'll try to actually promote peace, not war. So for all you people out there that still support this kind of thing, that still endorse this kind of leadership, you got to look yourself in the mirror. And you know what? You got to go fight this thing. Because if you really believe that this country and this leadership has your best interests at heart, then I want to see you die on the front lines. You die for what you believe in. I'm Christopher Green. You've been watching Green Wave TV, alternative media television, and I just delivered the Daily Wave. Hard-hitting and in your face.